everybody, I'm Dr. Sarah Solomon, a teambodybuilding.com athlete, a dentist, as well as a physiotherapist, a pro fitness model, and a certified personal trainer. So, today I'm talking to you about foam rolling, why we do it, and I'm going to take you through a foam rolling program that you can do with me. And this is something that I do want you doing every single day. Let's explain why. So, for all you 20-year-olds out there, you might think you're invincible, but as we start to age, things start to change. So neglected areas from your 20s suddenly become problems when you're in your 30s. The reality is that your body is not going to stay injury-free all by itself, especially if you work out or if you have a desk job. Because if you have a desk job, you're going to be subjecting yourself to repetitive, stressful motions, as well as potentially slouched or awkward postures. And if you're working out, well, you know how intense that can be, especially if you're doing plyometrics, high-intensity training, heavy weightlifting, sprinting, endurance, long-distance type running activities. So, when we do train, what happens is we develop microscopic tears in the muscle, which is normal. That's part of the normal muscle building process. But the problem is that over time, this can lead to the development of something we call trigger points. Now, what are trigger points? Well, when I press right here, I certainly get a trigger point. This is a hyper-irritable spot in the muscle. It's like a knot, like a little tiny lump. I call them opera spots because, they make me sing. Or you can call them angry balls. When you press on a trigger point, it's tender. It's very tender to palpation. And doing that can even refer pain. In fact, it can cause a headache to happen when you press on a trigger point. So, if you leave trigger points untreated, this is not a good thing because this can actually lead to the development of scar tissue within the muscle. And this isn't a good thing because this is going to decrease the amount of contractile tissue you have. So you're going to have decrease in strength. Then you're also going to have decreased flexibility, range of motion, and you're going to have your other areas in your body, your other muscles, being forced to compensate. So, because they're working extra hard to compensate, they're going to also start to develop trigger points, and you can see the vicious cycle continues. Really, what I want you to understand is that the body is a kinetic chain. So what happens in one location is definitely going to have an impact somewhere else, which is why it's crucial to address trigger points right away. In fact, on a daily basis. So how do we prevent trigger points? Well, the key is to go for a sports massage once a week or see the chiropractor or the physiotherapist. But realistically speaking, this is extremely expensive and time consuming. So there is actually a more affordable way to give yourself a daily sports massage, and that is with these $30 tubes of foam. These are foam rollers, and I foam roll every single day to release my trigger points. This is keeping my muscles pliable and it's keeping them healthy. Now, I like the Rumble roller. This is the foam roller. It has the teeth. And first of all, I like this because it's a travel size and I like to travel with it. But I like these teeth because these teeth will actually apply pressure and erode away the trigger points, and I find this to be much more effective than the conventional foam roller. Now, if you do find you're more inflamed and you find it too painful to use this, then of course you're going to want to start with the conventional roller. But ultimately, you should be on this particular style of foam roller just because it allows for more intense myofascial work compared to the plain foam roller. Let me take you through a foam rolling regime. So we're going to start with a logical approach to foam rolling. We're going to start from the bottom up, and that means we're starting with the feet. Now, a lot of you might have plantar fasciitis, foot pain. I mean, think about it. We're putting a lot of demand on our feet every day, so don't make the mistake of neglecting your feet. So what you're going to do is you're going to stand, support yourself against the wall, and you're going to stand on the foam roller. Now what you're going to do is you're going to put more weight on one foot. Now what you're doing is you are slowly rolling the foam roller to scan for a sore spot. Ooh, I found one. Okay, so now I'm going to stop. And I'm going to hold that spot for about 30 seconds to try and release that trigger point, that area of pain and tenderness. And if after 30 seconds it doesn't release, what I'm going to start to do now is I'm going to start to rock and roll a little bit over that trigger point to try and break it up. So you're going to see me starting to do some sideways rocking over that trigger point, little cross-lateral fiber work there. And I'm also going to go front and back to try and break it up. So now you're going to repeat for the other leg, so you can put more pressure onto the other foot, and you're just scanning slowly, making small amplitude motions very slowly until you find a spot. Ooh, there it is. And again, we're going to hold that, and we're going to wait for that area of tenderness to just suddenly relax. Next, we're going to move to the lower legs. We'll start with the calves. So we're going to place the roller underneath of the heels. And I'm going to be focusing in on one leg at a time because I want more pressure on this leg to really get into my trigger points. Now, if you find this too aggressive, you can put both legs on and put equal pressure on both legs. If you still find that too aggressive and too uncomfortable, then move over to the plain foam roller. But I do foam rolling every day, so you can understand that I'm able to go a little bit more advanced here. Oh, I found one. So I'm holding the spot, and I'm waiting for the muscle to relax. Just breathing it out until it releases. And again, if it doesn't release, we're going to rock right on that trigger point spot, and we're going to go side to side. Oh, 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 that hurts. Oh, off the spot. And I can feel that crunchy scar tissue in there. Especially important for people who jump rope, do a lot of plyometrics, to get in there. And again, you're going to do the same thing on the other calf. Now, Taz is showing you the beginner's technique, I believe. Now, the other thing that I want you to do is remember that it's not just the back of your calf. You have muscles wrapping around the whole leg. So I want you to then work on the peroneal. So turn the leg to the side. Move, Taz. And you can see, I'm just going to rest the other leg on top. And you can see we can get in from the side. And while we're in this position, we're going to do the inner part of the other leg. Oh, shin splints. Oh, that makes my toes curl. Ooh. Now we're going to repeat for the other side. So we'll do the peroneals on the other leg, the outside of the leg. And you can see that I'm not just going in one plane. You see how I'm rotating? And this doesn't feel fun. That's why I'm grunting. And we're going to do the inside of the other leg now. Oh, baby. What do you think about that, Taz? Meow. Meow. Ow. Oh. And we're going to crunch that around. Ooh, crunchy, crunchy scar tissue. Okay. Great. That concludes the lower legs. Now we're going to do the upper legs. So we're going to get the quads, we're going to get the IT band, we're going to get the hamstrings. We're going to go everywhere. So let's start with the hamstrings. So we're going to put the roller underneath. Do this from the side view. Okay, so again, this is not really doing anything for me because I'm a daily foam roller. So, correct lifting technique. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cross one leg on top of the other one so that I can get more pressure into this hamstring. And I'm going to scan for a sore spot. And you can see I've actually immediately rotated my leg and I found one right there. And I find the best way to get at this is to actually rock laterally. Okay, that sucks. This isn't fun. It's actually quite excruciating. And when you first start foam rolling, you're going to think this is absolutely torturous. But the more you do it, the better it gets. So just stick with it. Do it for 3 weeks, and I promise you it'll get a lot better. It's kind of like what I tell my patients when I tell them to floss. Your gums are going to bleed at first, but then once the tissue becomes healthy and you start clearing out that bacteria, it stops bleeding. It doesn't hurt anymore. Look out, Taz. Okay. So we're going to switch to the other hamstring. And again, we're scanning up and down until we find a sore spot. Oh, and I found one. This one's a little more lateral. Okay, and we're going to work that. Now, the more you foam roll, the more you're going to start to become aware of where your problem areas are. So you're going to be able to get on the foam roller and go straight to those areas. And if you are foam rolling, I suggest you do it, first of all, you better foam roll. But if you do foam roll, I suggest you do it after your workout if you're doing more intense myofascial work, because you don't want to compromise or fatigue yourself before your workout. But I would try to foam roll every day. I do. Okay, so let's move to the quadriceps muscle. Okay, so, can you move? Alright, so, again, I'm scanning up and down, and I don't feel anything just yet, so I'm going to start repositioning myself to put more pressure on the lateral aspect of my quad, all along the vastus lateralis. Ooh, and I found something right here. So I'm going to just concentrate in on that area. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Oh yeah, I got an issue right there. At least I'm symmetrically challenged. Okay. So we did our quads. So now we're going to move to the IT band, which is all along. See where the green stripe is? Picture that as my IT band. This leotard works perfectly. So I have to actually use this one for my IT band because that's how jacked up my IT bands are. They're so sore that if I use that one, I get bruising all the way up and down here, and I'm howling and have tears coming out everywhere. So I will use this one for the IT band. Now, the IT band, as I said, tends to get jacked up, especially if you're a runner. And the problem with a jacked up IT band is that the pull that happens along this green stripe here, green stripe in theory, is that it causes the patella to start to track laterally, and that can contribute to knee pain, patellofemoral syndrome. So that's why it's important to stretch this muscle, and it's important to foam roll it on a regular basis. So if you are having knee pain, why don't you start foam rolling here and see if that makes a difference for you. So for the IT band, what you're going to do, I like to, again, put all my weight onto it, but you don't have to do that. What you can do if you're a beginner is you can put one foot like this to take the pressure off this leg, and then you can rock and roll along the IT band. But since I'm a little bit more than a beginner, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one leg on top of the other, and the problem area for me, is lower down at the insertion of the IT band. So I'm just going to concentrate in on that area, and again you can see I'm also incorporating lateral motions here to try and erode away that hyperirritable area. And believe it or not, this works. The pain actually has started to abate. Now the other area is higher up. So I'm going to move up to this zone. And there it is. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, so we're going to switch to the other side. Okay. There it is. And again, just hold the spot. Let gravity put pressure on that area and let that area just whoosh, dissipate, it relaxes. Now we're going to go down to the other problem spot, right near the knee. And we're going to work that area. Excellent. But while you're here, I'd suggest you also hit your glutes. So you can just cross one leg over the other. And you can hit, there it is, that little spot on your butt. You can get that. And again, repeat with the other side. Oh, there it is. Okay, best for last, the back. So we're going to place the foam roller underneath of your lower back. Now, I don't want you going into hyperextension too much. So keep yourself supported up, And you're going to find some areas in the lumbar area. And again, you're going to have to tilt slightly to the side. Oh yeah. And you'll start to get it. Move up a little bit. Oh, I found the spot. Now I'm just going to hold it. Oh, that sucks. Alright, now I'm going to do a little bit of side to side action here. A little bit higher. Oh yeah, I've definitely got a lot of tension. And to be expected. I mean, I write all day long, I work out, and I'm a dentist. A little bit higher again. I want to point out to you that I'm not rolling over bone. I'm always staying on the soft tissue. So that's why you see me off kilter, because I don't want to be rolling right over the spinous processes, because that's actually quite uncomfortable. Now we're going to repeat for the other side. So we're starting with the low back. And we're going to slowly move up. The side isn't as bad as the other side. We tend to always have one side that's worse than the other. For me, that's my non-dominant side that's always worse. So now we're going to go more to the mid-back. So I like to, ladies, hold my ponytail out of the way so I don't roll over my ponytail. You can support your head. And we're going to just start going. I start symmetrically going up and down. And I can actually feel the crunching of the tissue, the scar tissue that has formed here. This is especially important to do if you do have a desk job and you're constantly sitting hunched. This is going to help to break up that awful scar tissue that's formed. It's going to make the muscles more pliable. It's going to help with the mobility there and help counteract some of that extension dysfunction that you have. You can see I'm getting right into, the back of the shoulder there. I have a nasty trigger point all along the teres minor area. So you can see I'm rotating in a little bit. And I'm hitting the lat too by rotating this way. Good. Getting some of the rhomboids, the traps. Now we're going to do the same thing for the other side. So notice how I'm preferentially leaning over onto the other side now. Got the arm up, I'm getting the back of the shoulder here. Getting that trigger point, the teres minor. That's your rotator cuff area. Ooh. Hold it there. Let it dissipate. And then you're going to rock side to side to get rid of it. Oh, that's nasty. Okay. Now I want you to move up to the neck area. Now, if you have any type of spinal instability, neck instability, this is not for you. I've placed the foam roller behind my head here, behind the neck. And I've placed it so that the tooth is actually on the area adjacent to the spinal processes. So it's not on my spine, it's just beside it. And I can feel it pushing into the muscle on the side of the spine. So I'm actually rotating my head, and I've got a nasty trigger point. Ugh. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Just reposition it so that you get those teeth right into the meat of the muscle. And you'll know, oh yeah, you just have to move around and you'll find your spot. Hold it there, let it dissipate. Oh, that one gives me a headache right in my temple. Ugh. And again, I'm rotating to help break that up. This is not fun, but it helps so much. You're going to feel so much better after. And I like to even put it just under the base of the skull hair. It's kind of like having a hair massage. I mean, remember, your head weighs as much as a bowling ball. It's a lot of work for your neck to hold that up. It's about 9 pounds. So it's important that you do look after your neck. Give it a little massage. Okay, that sums up foam rolling right from your head to your toes. So again, this is something that I urge you do every single day. This will keep your muscles healthy. It'll minimize the chances of injury. So please invest in a foam roller. It's not very expensive, and start rolling.